Good morning everybody, welcome back. My name is Lynn and I'm Pretty Papercrafts 67, and today I'm just doing a quick flip through of a vintage lady journal that I've just completed. This one is a chunky girl. This one came together so quickly and I just loved it. I really enjoyed making this one. So I have used a rust dyed piece of calico cotton fabric for a tie. So it's got some really lovely rust markings on the tie. And I haven't attached it to the journal. I've just simply wrapped it around and tied with a bow. It's a soft covered journal. I've used some beautiful old vintage fabric that I bought from Kylie at Paper Daisy Journals some time ago. So it's the last piece that I have now. I have used a piece of felt. So I've got the fabric, a piece of felt, and then I've backed that onto some dressmaker patterned paper. So that's your cover. And it feels nice and soft. I have sewn the signatures in with a 3-hole binding stitch, and then I have wrapped an old vintage, well, I'm not sure that it's vintage, but it's old to me, a doily, which I again have rust stained. I've just popped on a little button tree, quite a few little vintage buttons there that I've made into a hanging with a bit of a little piece of doily, and I've attached that to the spine with a bulb pin. On the front, I've got a combination of many, I don't know if that's close enough, many little doilies that I've layered up, a vintage button, a Tim Holtz photograph, another piece of stamped fabric sitting in behind that I received from Vicky in a swap with Paper Inspirations a little while ago, a ruffle from Sue from a mystery box, and a little book plate which I've backed with some paper and stamped a number in there. And on my centre strings, I have tied on these gorgeous little tassels that came in another mystery box from Sue at Paper Inspirations. The journal itself measures 8 inches by about 5.5, and it is very chunky, very, very chunky. I don't know how many pages in here. From memory, I think there may be 50 pages, so that's like 100 writing sides, but yeah, I can't really remember. But anyway, we'll get into the journal. So the front cover, I've just made some little pockets, or a pocket that runs right the way through for your front cover, so you can pop a few extra bits and pieces in there. I've got to hold it kind of up because it's big. So I've just placed through it some of my printables that I've been dabbling with over time, and I've printed that one onto some old ledger paper. Then I have here, this is something that I received a long, long time ago in a paper pack that I bought, and it's about an afternoon tea, cakes and biscuits. So there's just lots of journaling space there. And I've created a pocket in that page, and inside that pocket I've just made a little envelope, and inside of the envelope I've just popped one of these little mail cards with the secret hidden pocket that I did a video on these a few weeks back. So that one sits inside there. Oh, if I can get it to go back in. And I've just used some lovely Tim Holtz wallpaper to create this little envelope here. So I'll just pop that one inside of that little pocket. I've got some more Tim Holtz paper, which is such beautiful paper and such lovely quality. This page here, I have used a piece of brown paper and I've backed it with some baking paper. I've sewn around the edges, and then I've done some stenciling onto that page. And then over on this side, that's the coffee stained paper. And I've just put a flip out pocket there from a magazine, not a magazine, a book page. And I have put a little lady tag inside there. I've done some embossing, and I've put some gold leafing around the sides and things like that. And then I've just added a little cluster a little dangle Eiffel Tower, this beautiful little portrait of a wedding, marriage, vintage button, and then I've just got some tie-dyed sari silk there. So that one lives in that little pocket, just like that. I've used some fabric tabs and some lace tabs throughout. So this one here was a ruffle from Sue from a mystery box, some old music paper, and again this is a piece of brown paper that I've once again backed onto some baking paper and done some stenciling, and then just turned that page up to make a little pocket which has some collage. And then I've just created this little daisy tag, a bit of a cluster with a little daisy and some labels, sewing, cheesecloth, things like that on that one. This pocket here, again, I did another video on this one. This is Bonnie's double-decker pocket. So in the top section here, I've just placed another one of these little lady tags that has some modelling paste embossing on it. And I'll just back that onto some Edith Holden, sewn all around it. Everything, all the ephemera has sewing and distress inking around it. And in this bottom section pocket, I've just put a little bookmark and a little specimen card. So they sit nicely in there, like that. I've sewn down some page edges. I've left all my strings really long, so it looks quite tatty in that respect. Over on this side here, this is a printable from the Graphics Fairy, but it's just a family history, a family record chart, like a, what are they called? A family tree, are they? So I really love that, and I thought it went in well with the style of the journal. And behind that page, I've sewn that down and then made a flip out. So behind there, I've just included one of these sweet little document folders that we did in the Roxy's weekly challenge. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 pieces of ephemera inside that little holder, and I've just put some tickets on some swing tickets on there, and this one has the gold brad closure to help it all stay in place. So I've just popped that one behind there. This little page here, I've created this tag, a beautiful little dried flower. Again, that was from a mystery box from some months ago, and I've just again collaged with some Tim Holtz paper and some script, backed it onto some tissue paper. And this pocket here is basically just a glassine bag that I've slipped a piece of Tim Holtz paper in behind and sewn around, and then popped it down on the page. And the page behind it is a lace page where I've taken a piece of paper and backed it onto some lace, and then on this side I've got another piece of Tim Holtz. So yeah, still a lot of pages, a lot of areas within the journal to add your own elements or to do lots of journaling in. This was the flip out that we did for the Roxy's weekly challenge, but instead of making it a flip, I've turned it into a pocket. So again, I've got my vintage lady, lots of labels and bits and pieces, and inside of that I've just made a nice tall skinny tag with some of these beautiful vellum roses that again I received in a mystery box. So lots and lots of mystery box items throughout this journal. And that one there, when you pop it back through, it kind of peeks through that little window there, so you can see it kind of peeking through there. Again, some lace and bits and pieces. Again, on this side here, I've included, so I've made this page just with a pocket, a music paper pocket, and I've included in that pocket another one of these little flip outs that we did in the weekly challenge with Rachel. And again, I've just included some various bits of ephemera in there. So that one fits really nicely in that little pocket, with a little swing tag of numbers. This piece here is from 7 Plaza on coffee. So that was beautiful. It's French, so I have printed it double-sided, and I just thought it went really well with the theme of things. And just for some interest, I've folded it down. Another ruffle from Sue, and another piece of Tim Holtz paper. I really hope I'm in frame. Oh, yes, I am. This here is a piece of original wallpaper that I've carried with me for many, many years. And I've just made a little cluster there, just with some book page, some wallpaper sample, and a little floral image. And I've just paper clipped that on there because you could always take it off and add it to a piece of ephemera that you've made, or make it a little tuck in a corner of the page. Piece of ledger paper that I've just turned into a pocket, and I've just included a couple of Tim Holtz photographs and a piece of printed ephemera. This one here is a restaurant receipt, and again I would say that's, yes, Paris, so that is French. I've just popped that in there in that little pocket. An envelope that we received in the mystery box from Sue, so I've just made that into a page in the journal. Just made a little scrappy collage there to place in that corner, and then I again got another one of these little lady tags that I created with the embossing, and onto that I'll just put a little dangle, some florals and some bits and pieces, and again another vintage button. And this lace here is actually remnants of my, I've been married twice, my second marriage, so this is actually remnants of my wedding dress from my first marriage, so there you go. Another one of my printables that again I have printed double-sided, so lovely daisies set against some vintage receipt paper. Vintage receipt, and then I've just printed that out and double-sided the print. So again, another one of these brown paper and baking paper pages that I've sewn around, and on this side I've just placed down a book page pocket, and then I've just made this little faux postcard, Paris postcard. So he fits nicely into there like that. On this one here, we've got another book page pocket, and inside of this one I've popped 2 wallpaper sample cards, and then I've just made a scrappy notebook just with some bits and pieces of different, there's a printable, there's some handmade paper, script, ledger paper, and yeah, just some vellum. So it's got a few pages in there. You can keep it as it is as a notebook, or you could rip the pages out if you need, as you need them throughout your journaling. So they sit there. Another piece of Tim Holtz paper, and on this side I've used that wedding dress material and made a lace pocket. And inside this pocket we have these 2 beautiful journal cards, and these are from Anna Thompson on Facebook. So yeah, they're really lovely, very, very vintage looking. And again, I've just printed those out and backed those onto some plain printable paper. So they belong in this little pocket here. The lace kind of stops them from going right down. It gets a bit caught. Oh. Another receipt, vintage receipt that again I've printed out double-sided. So this is again from the Graphics Fairy. Centre page here. Now what I've done with this one, I've just taken the flap off an envelope and I've just covered it in some Tim Holtz paper and attached it to my centre page. And again, another little journal card from Anna Thompson, and I'll just pop that in behind there, so that creates like a little tuck. And on this side here, I've just taken a faux vintage postcard, made that into a pocket, taken another one which I've made into another pocket, and so I've got a Tim Holtz photograph popped into the back there, a little letter, piece of ephemera, and again I've made just another little cluster that you can use throughout the book in your own decorating. So they live in there. And another piece of material from a little tab there from another piece of material from a mystery box from Sue at Paper Inspirations. And then we'll start on the other side. So there's the other piece of receipt, ledger paper, lace pocket, and in this one I've just got, yeah, aren't they beautiful? Such pretty girls, and that's from Seven Plaza. And I've just attached a doily piece as a pull, backed it onto some printable. And again, this one the same, another postcard from Anna Thompson. And again, I've just backed that onto some ledger paper. So another music page pocket, and inside of this one I have put a receipt that I've printed out onto ledger paper. This piece here is a piece of music paper, and it is very old. I can't give you a year. It does have writing throughout. And on this side, I know it's old because this here is my uncle's signature. It doesn't have a date, but he was learning the piano when he was a younger man. So he's now passed. So this piece is quite old. It is a little bit cracky on the top, but that's okay. I think it adds to the goodness of it. And I've just included one of these little pockets from Bonnie, and just popped some assorted tickets in these little pockets here. So they always come in handy. So that's in there. Another book page pocket from this gorgeous book that I've bought at the Lifeline Book Fair. Beautiful, beautiful images. I don't know if you can see that so well. But yeah, florals and some little ducks and some beehives. And inside of that one, I've just popped inside this really textural journal card that I've made with lots of background paint and stamping and stenciling, a Tim Holtz wallpaper flower. And again, this was an index card, so I've just done some inking and added that into this little pocket here. Another printable of mine, the other side of that printable. So they always look great. I've just folded them up for interest, but you know, you could always glue that shut as another pocket should you want to. The other side of the envelope, and here is another one of those little lady tags. Oops. Little lady tags that I made with some printable from the Graphics Fairy, and then I've just done some modelling paste embossing on that one, and again just a little cluster on the end of that, on the side of that envelope. These envelopes are gorgeous. They've been coffee dyed but lace dyed, so I really want to learn this technique. I love it. Some cotton fabric, I'm not sure what it's called. I did buy it from Sue. I can't remember what it's called. Is it cotton frizz maybe? But it's really good quality. Little tab binding there, and then I've made that into a little bit of a tuck spot, and I've included a little a postcard that I've created with a mixed media background, and then I've just used a napkin to place the image down on there. Again, so it's an index card that's been altered. And on this side here, we have a beautiful postcard that came from, again, Sue's Mystery Box, which I've just ink dyed the background on, but I've left it plain, so you could actually use it for a postcard should you want to. And I've just popped that in that piece of wallpaper page, but I'm just going to pin that in there like that so it doesn't fall out. Tim Holtz again. On this side here, like the other one, which was the family record, this one is a marriage certificate. Again, it's just a printable from the Graphics Fairy, but it's got that vintage old world feel about it, so I just sort of thought it looked really lovely there. Pardon me. Book page pocket again, and inside this one, again, another beautiful postcard from Sue. And I've created another one of these index card journal cards with mixed media background, and I've just taken from a napkin and placed down my image like so. And this fabric tab here is actually an Edith Holden print. So yeah, there's some beautiful florals there. Now this is where it starts to get a little bit hard to manage. I've made another little flip out pocket page there, and inside of that one I've just made a little tag, with a collage tag really, with a little dangle there on the front, some rust stained calico for a tie, and I've just backed that onto a rose design printable, and that one just lives in there. And I've attached them with Tim Holtz linen tape, so they're nice and sturdy inside there, so they won't come out. And you need to lie down there, little button. A little cluster side tuck here, which I've just used music paper, book page, some pattern paper, and just, yeah, sewn around it, made it look quite grungy. And in that little side tuck, I've just included another Tim Holtz photograph and another one of these little pocket ideas from Bonnie. And again, I've just included in that just a collection of cutter parts from different Papercraft paper packs. So they're always handy to have to do some embellishing on ephemera. Another book page pocket idea we did a video on a couple of, or maybe 2 weeks ago, and in this one I've included a journal card that I've backed onto some coffee stained cardboard from Sue, a couple of little envelopes. This is one of my envelopes from my printable that's available in the Etsy store, and this one here is a little envelope from the Graphics Fairy. And I've backed all of those onto coffee stained cardboard. So they live in here. And then in this top section here, I've just popped in another journal tag. And yeah, a bit of a dangle there, specimen card and a lady and a vintage button. Again, a sari silk rust dyed tie on that one. And he just lives happily in there. In this page, in this pocket here, I've printed out this beautiful little girl, and it's just ironic, I didn't even realize when I was putting it together, but on that page and this is the same image, so that kind of matches nicely. And I've just made a simple journal tag with this beautiful rose image. And again, I've just backed that onto some book page, sewn around the edges and distress inked everything. So that one lives in there. Some music paper, coffee stained paper backed onto that baking paper, which I've stenciled. A little clustered pocket, and in this one I've included some of these gorgeous tickets that again came in a mystery box from Sue, so they belong in there. Tim Holtz paper, how to keep butter sweet for market. So again, an old world how to, when this is how to keep butter fresh, so that's interesting. And then we come to the end, and it's that printable again that I've been dabbling with. Back page has got another pocket. And there you have it. So she is extremely big and chunky, very, very hard to close. But yeah, I really enjoyed putting this one together. This one is called Vintage Lady, and this journal has already been spoken for. Thank you, Jan. So yeah, I'm doing a flip through so that Jan can see all the details in the journal. And yeah, I've really enjoyed. I haven't made a journal for a little while now, so this one I really enjoyed because it came together so quickly and easily. And yeah, really, really enjoyed making this one. All right, guys, so thank you so much for joining me today. It is Thursday today, and it's quite hot here in Queensland, so I've got to go to work today. So yeah, I'm a cleaner, so I'll be hot by the end of the day. All right, guys, stay safe, stay well. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.